This is reposted.
Larry, I want to speak a little Cajun French to you today. Laissez le bon temps louer. So basically, Mardi Gras is coming up. It's starting this weekend. The city of New Orleans, I don't think, is officially going to allow it. I'm not so much interested in Mardi Gras, but this idea that this French term, Cajun French term, means let the good times roll. And I think probably in the last 10, 15 years, our society has kind of been consuming and this is yummy. I want it now. And I don't think it's a positive way. I think the delayed gratification is something that we don't experience anymore. Do you agree, disagree, or are you just eating a piece of cake right now?
Can I just say, I feel like, and I could be wrong and I'm not a doctor, but you can't get coronavirus during Mardi Gras. Like it doesn't get transmitted.
No, and also if you go to Rio, you can't get it during Carnival. So that's nice.
You know, what I find interesting about this idea, this concept, is that Mardi Gras is essentially a Christian thing, right? It was a church
I think it's
holiday,
more,
right?
yeah, Catholic. So basically, Mardi Gras is leading up till Ash Wednesday, and Mardi Gras generally starts on the weekend. Well, in Louisiana, it might last a little bit longer, but it culminates on Fat Tuesday, and you get all of your partying out, and then Ash Wednesday hits, and you have 40 days of Lent where you're supposed to button down. And so Mardi Gras is kind of a way of getting that out. That's like the very boiled down version of it.
Well, which is what my thought is that these religious people were like, hey, man, we got to come up with a reason to party. Like it was the religious people basically clearing their conscience so they could party.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just getting it out of your system. It's the person that goes out on Saturday night, does a bunch of cocaine, sleeps with eight women, and then goes to church in the morning on Sunday. And
I
those
feel
are
like there's some parallels to the movie series The Purge. It's like you just go kill everybody all night. So you could just like get up. But there is some truth to this idea in that my wife knows that if she lets me go on a couple of guys' weekends a year, you come on a couple of those with me. I sort of get my guydom out of my system, and I kind of come back and able to be more of the dad guy that I need to be. So she understands. I mean, my wife kind of gets this idea.
so you think it's a good you have to get out of your system because otherwise it'll just the pressure will build up and it'll boil over in a different way. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, I don't know about that, but it's definitely, I mean, it's true for me. My wife knows that I like people. I like to have a good time. I like to get crazy. She doesn't necessarily want me to get crazy around her. You and my close friends know that maybe I overdo it sometimes, but it definitely like kind of lets like that sort of crazy guy part get out of my system.
I mean, it's kind of also, I can't ever remember if it's Amish. I think it's Amish. They do a Rumspringa.
Rumspringa. Yeah.
And so, yeah, they get all their partying out of their system and they're like, this, you see the evil side of it. And so, like, it's interesting that Mardi Gras is like, it's turned into, it's kind of a fun commercialized thing, but like, it's kind of purging the evil from your system. Kind of like you said, it's like the purge.
Yeah, and it kind of bums me out a little bit, but it is a total like religious thing that they had to give themselves rules to party. Like you shouldn't, I don't know. You just shouldn't. Do you? Well, I guess that's the question back to you. Do you need reasons to party, or can you just party?
I mean, I think you can just party. And I guess to take the opposite side of what I just said is like sometimes when you're throwing a party or you're trying to do something like this, let the good times roll mentality is something that you should do because sometimes I'll have people over and I'm worried about the food being on time. I'm worried about people having a good time. And rather than trying to micromanage people's good time, just let the good times roll and things will fall where they may. So, I mean, there's both sides of it.
And I do like the seasons part of this that you were mentioning with the church part. Like, okay, here's party time, and then here's Lent time where you take some time to reflect and maybe fast from some things, take some things away from your life so that you can enjoy once again when you get a party, when you get to have people over for dinner. I think like coronavirus has been this big, long Lent kind of altogether.
Yeah, I don't eat meat every Friday during coronavirus.
The other one too that I kind of had, I feel like the I don't know, maybe Americans or whatever kind of extrapolated from Mardi Gras is Burning Man. Don't you feel like Burning Man is like the new Mardi Gras?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I've never been to Burning Man. I don't know if that's, I guess it is. Burning Man's basically, it started in San Francisco at Baker Beach and got so big, and people just go and have like a psychedelic experience, whether you use drugs or not. Like you just go in the middle of the desert and you're disconnected for a week or however long, and it's completely on a bartering system. So it's like getting out of reality. I think it's a way of experiencing a high to be able to give perspective the rest of your life.
You got to kind of live your alter ego, right? You got to be whoever you want in the desert. That's what they say. Now, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that or not. Obviously I live in San Francisco, so I have lots of people that, oh, Burning Man is spiritually experienced.
I
Okay.
mean, also you can't live the Burning Man lifestyle your entire life because then you would be dubbed homeless. Like it's basically living a homeless lifestyle for a week around a bunch of other people.
Although I will say I have met some people who are like mayors of the towns in Burning Man,
Yeah.
and they really do live it out all year long. They're preparing for it. They're getting their town ready. They almost are living Burning Man. Those people are off the grid, by the way. And I don't think anybody lives Mardi Gras 24/7. So that's kind of a
They
different
do
thing.
though. There's Mardi Gras World in New Orleans, and they build the floats year round. And there's people that live it. This isn't where I thought we'd be going, but I was on a plane one time and I saw people with a Burning Man backpacks. Like they had corporate bags, and they were in first class. I was like, that is not the Burning Man lifestyle, flying first class. But I mean, I guess they have private jets that fly into the playa
Sort
as
of to
well.
your the playa. Thank you for dropping the playa bomb. One of these years I'll go. Here's my thing with your sort of thesis about this. Nobody loves to party more than me. Nobody loves a guy's weekend, a bachelor party. Nobody loves any of that more than me. But I could do it for about 3 days and that's it. Like I can't like it, I think that's the thing about life. We've been talking about contrast or whatever. If you don't have like a normal work week, then partying isn't as fun. If you're partying all the time, partying sort of loses its context. So like 3 days is about good for me. And then I'm like, yo, man, I got to lay off a cigar. I got to put the gin down. I got to not gamble. And I got it out of my system.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're partying all the time, that becomes your baseline. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so having a six pack, 3 shots of whiskey and a cigar is like, if that's your baseline, what do you have to do to go wild? I think the main thing I'm going to take away from this, that I don't really think about these things often, but like when I am going to have a good time, just let the good times roll and don't worry about trying to micromanage it. I mean, it's going to be different for everyone's personality, but
Let the good times roll, killer.
well, if you found the baby and the king cake, please reach out. You can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for Winnie the Pooh saying thanks for stopping by.